Hello and welcome to Chair Yoga for Stress Management. My name's Gee and I'm a certified British Wheel of Yoga teacher, a nutritionist and a naturopath. Currently, I provide an early intervention service in Havering, advocating diet, activity, lifestyle solutions to facilitate population well-being. In today's session, I'm going to introduce 3 effective techniques adapted from yoga and acupressure to help us override and reframe the fight, flight, and freeze response. The first step is actually recognizing what some of these symptoms look like, and they're often classified as psychosomatic, which we ignore and neglect until these symptoms get louder. Subtly, these begin to impact our physical, mental, and emotional states. And really, they indicate that our body is undergoing distress, or it can't cope any longer with the amount of pressure that's been exerted upon it. Physically, we may experience aches and pain, often moving around. Tension across our shoulder and in our neck, headaches, tiredness and loss of appetite. Emotionally, we become a bit more sensitive and irritable with low moods, anxiety, lack of motivation. And these all culminate into changes in behavior. The good news is that stress physiology is predictable, which means that if we intervene early enough at the alarm phase, we can prevent these symptoms from morphing into more serious conditions. Yoga offers just one solution to help us deal with stress. And although yoga is now considered a form of exercise for the flexible in the West, in its authentic practice, it teaches a set of pragmatic values that we can adopt as a way of life to regain our peace of mind and sense of calm and balance in the midst of chaos. The benefits of consistent practice empowers us to stay centered, improve our resilience, and help us step into our power. So whether you're new to yoga or an experienced yogi, I welcome you all. And I hope these techniques serve your well-being as they have done for me and many others for many decades. So let's begin. You will need a comfortable seat, a yoga block. If you don't have access to a yoga block, a shoebox, a tissue box, or a book will suffice, so long as it's about A4, and a tennis ball. The first technique I'm going to introduce is really useful for those initial stages of stress when we begin to feel some of those symptoms of anxiety come through our body. We may notice that our breathing pattern changes and that becomes slightly more shallow. We feel tension build up across our neck and our shoulder, and we may also experience moving pain, especially in the joints. What we're going to do at that point is begin to tap the breastbone, and then either side of the collarbone. These pressure points or trigger points help change the state of energy that we may be feeling at that point. We're also going to passively inhale and really exert a forceful exhale. Raising our shoulders up towards our ears, relaxing the arms on either side, and again, now we're going to start tapping from the top of our head, bringing this down to just above the brow line. You may feel a tender spot here. Often we can suffer headaches, tension headaches, to the side of the eye and top of the cheekbone, underneath the lip, and then the chin. And moving down to the collarbone, the breastbone, and then either side of our ribs, tapping. Draw your fingertips together and place them on your laps. You're going to draw a deep breath in, raising the shoulders, rotating them back, and then sigh out. And again, just scan the body and see how you feel. And repeat, starting from the top of the head, above the brow line. And affirmations at this point are also very useful. Something like, even though I'm feeling this anxiety and this discomfort, I'm regaining my seat of power. I'm letting go of what no longer serves my well-being. Sternum, tap, side of the body. Hold the fingertips, breathing in, exhale. This is one of the quickest ways of changing our state of energy, and you may already be feeling some of the relief. Finally, we're going to soften our wrists and place our hands in a bit of a fist. We're going to begin to tap the top of our shoulder down our arms on both sides. Stand up around the base of our spine, and then moving to the side of our legs, all the way down to our ankles, and brush away. Give yourself a bit of a shake. Again, raising the shoulders to the ears, inhale, and then exhale. Brilliant. A very effective breathing technique at this point is called the bellows breath. And I suppose it's a really quick way of reducing or rebalancing and regrounding ourselves when we feel that things are feeling scattered in our mind. What we're going to do is take a deep belly breath. So we're going to sip the air, drink the air through the nose and direct it towards the navel. The navel will come away from the spine on an inhale. Let's try that. So, breathing in, big belly. We're drawing in the air. Hold. And then release, exhale. This time the navel moves inwards towards the spine. Okay, so on an inhale, we're going to raise our arms up above our head. If you suffer from high blood pressure, I recommend that you, instead of moving up, you punch the air in front of you. So you lengthen your arms forward, one at a time. So on an inhale, we're going to raise our arms up above our head. On an exhale, we're going to exert our elbows towards our ribs and really expel the air. And it sounds something like this. Inhale. Ha! Okay. And we're going to do 5 reps of 3. So let's begin. Inhale, raise your arms. Ha! 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 Take a deep breath in. If you find that you're feeling slightly dizzy, please take a seat. The reason for the dizziness is that we're actually drawing in a lot of air for the first time and it's oxygenating us. Not only that, we're letting go of unhealthy air because we began to, our breathing rate changes when we're under stress. Let's try that again. So inhale, raise the arms up. Ha! 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 It's a great activity to do to begin a team meeting, to bring everyone into the room. And we often end up laughing. So again, it's a fantastic technique to change the energy very quickly. The second technique I'm going to introduce to you is our posture. So you'll notice that when we feel that the load is, or the pressure is exceeding our capacity to cope, the body begins to reflect the condition of our emotions and of our mind. And it does this, you'll often notice, with the shoulders that begin to fall forward, almost as though we're carrying a heavy load. Our joints begin to compress and we fall out of alignment. Automatically, the body and the mind are having this silent dialogue that's now imprinting itself on our body. So one of the quickest things we can do to help shape and reframe our mind, as well as engage with the healing process, is postural alignment. And again, we can do this anywhere, anytime. Let's begin first by stretching our feet out in front of us. And we're going to slowly, against resistance, draw our feet back until the ankles are in line with the knees. Now, the slower we do this, and with our intention, we'll notice that our legs, our muscles fire up. And it sends a signal to our brain to say, oh, she's getting ready to move. The movement is now taking place. So very quickly, we've changed our state of mind by re-engaging with our body. So, stretching the feet out and drawing them in until the ankles are aligned with the knees and the legs are active. Place your hands on either side of your shins and press them against one another. At the same time, preventing the knees from falling in, you'll notice that the leg muscles are firmly engaged. Now, lift your toes and then place them down one digit at a time, spreading those toes as you do. Sink your heel into the ground. This is called grounding, and already you'll notice that you are more in tune with your feet than you are with other things that were on your mind. Now we're going to grab the flesh of our thighs and we're going to turn it inwards towards the midline on both sides. So it's just like giving yourself a bit of a Chinese burn. And we're going to lift or peel the skin on either side of our seat bones across the glutes to release our spine. And you'll automatically feel that you are now sitting with neutral spine. So all I've done is peel my seat bones and I'm sitting tall. Now shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. Bring your hands towards the back of the chair. Just hold on to it wherever it's comfortable. And we're going to hinge from the hip and extend our arms as we fall forward, long spine, creating a stretch. Really opening our collarbone and our chest as we do so. Take a deep breath in and exhale as we fall forwards. Very good. And then coming back to seated. Whilst we're there, we can practice a couple of seated twists, placing our right hand across the left knee, our left hand behind the chair or wherever it's comfortable. Inhale, long spine, and then pivot from the waist. Hips are facing forwards. The knees do not collapse inwards. They are very, very grounded. So using our knees and the chair to help us pivot and then face forwards. Fabulous. Let's come back to neutral and try that on the other side. This time, left hand over the right knee, right hand on the side of the chair, wherever it's comfortable. Inhale, lift up and pivot and look forward. So you'll notice how you are just releasing any tension you're holding along the hip girdle and the waist, because obviously this is where we're feeling a lot of tension, especially if we spend our time seated for long periods. The next, grab your yoga block or tissue box, whatever you have handy. And we're going to come into a bit more of a dynamic pose. In yoga, it's called the chair pose or Uttanasana. And we're going to inhale and raise our arms up as we do. And on an exhale, we're going to release the arms, but with control. Now, I don't want you to grip the yoga block. The palms are long, our fingers are long and straight, and we're literally just resting the yoga block or the book or the tissue box between our palms. There's no gripping. Again, inhale, lift our arms up, exhale, Draw them down. I'm going to ask you to come to the edge of your seat. Really flex those toes. Place them down one at a time. Spread your toes so you really feel your feet sinking into the ground, almost as though you're going to get up. Reach forwards with the block. So really extend forward as though you're going to reach out to pick something up. So keep moving forward. So inhale, exhale, reach forwards. Inhale, exhale, reach forwards. Inhale, long arms. Exhale, reach forwards. One last time, inhale, exhale, reach forwards. And as you do, lift your buttocks off the seat. Do not stand up. So your knees are bent. Your tailbone is long and extended. Your spine is long. You can feel each vertebra separating and lengthening, arms stretching in front of you and looking up, gazing between your hands. And when you're ready, come to standing. It's a very powerful yoga technique, yoga pose. And ideally, we want to get to the point where we can sit and stand without having to use our body weight. We're quite comfortable. And this really helps us power up our body whilst we're in our place of work, seated for long periods of time. I thoroughly hope you find that effective. And finally, my third technique is about the breath, because without the breath, it's usually very hard to step into our core and our power. Now, I'm going to walk you through a guided breathing technique developed by Dr. Richard Brown and Patricia Gerbarg, called the healing power of breath, or coherent breathing. You can Google that and research it at your own leisure. It's been used for PTSD, victims of war, soldiers returning from war, and it's adapted from yoga and Tai Chi breathing principles. There are two ways. You can either remain seated on your chair in a comfortable position. Make sure your spine is neutral, as we've just discussed, stacking the joints one above each other and releasing the sit bones for the spine to be neutral. Or you may wish to lie down. So this breathing technique really helps benefit sleep. So for us, when obviously we're feeling stressed, one of the issues is that it disturbs our sleep, and we find it very difficult to get a restful night's rest. So what we can do is either lie down on our bed or lie down on the floor and place your feet to rest on the seat. And slowly bring yourself down to a resting position. Now, if we press down into our heels and lift our sacrum off the floor, just release any tension that we have at the base of our spine, and then bring the sacrum back down onto the ground. Gently dropping the knees, opening the hips on either side, and allow gravity to do the rest. This is an excellent position or pose if you suffer from tight hips and lower back pain. Just drop your arms on either side of the body, palms facing up. You may wish to release your neck underneath it to help relax some of the muscles there. Brush your hair away. Just scan your body as I walk you through a guided breathing meditation. So first, draw your attention to your breath. You may feel that you want to change its quality and texture. And I just invite you to be in your natural state. So lie on the floor, take a moment to settle. Feel the weight of your body just surrendering to the earth. Legs are resting on this chair, slightly abducted. Spine drops to the ground. Arms extended. Just roll your head from left to right. And enjoy the sensation of your breath moving effortlessly. Tune in to the sound of your breathing. When you first observe your breath, your impulse may be to change the pattern of breathing, perhaps to give it better shape. I invite you to draw the air through your nose and directly deep into the belly, expanding as we inhale. On an exhale, allow the breath to move through the mouth, almost as though you're trying to steam a window pane. Very good. Let's try that again. So breathing in deeply. Exhale through the mouth. So with that intention of steaming a window pane, the next exhale, I'm going to invite you to seal your lips, but still imagine that you're steaming or fogging up the window pane. So draw the breath, inhale, deep into the belly, pushing the navel away from the spine. Hold for 2. Exhale. You'll find that the throat at the back of your neck constricts slightly. And it sounds a little bit like the ocean Let's practice that one more time. Inhale deeply, drawing the breath into the belly, expanding the belly, massaging the kidneys, really pushing the floor away with that inhalation. Pausing before the exhalation. With the next breath, we're going to intentionally expand our rib cage. So notice the space between the armpits grow bigger, really separating the shoulder blades away from one another, directed by the breath. I often visualize this as the gills of the fish, and on an inhale, our intercostal spaces expand, releasing any tension we're holding across our rib cage. So, drawing the breath in through the nose, sipping the air, expanding the rib cage, feeling the space between the armpits expand. Pause before we exhale. And one more time. Inhale. Try not to get too involved when you're breathing in. Receive the air in a passive, detached way, as though you're an observer. Expand the ribs. Pause. It's in that moment of pause that exchange takes place. Soften the skin across your forehead and exhale in your own rhythmic way. The final breath is going to be directed to your shoulder blades and the point between the shoulder blades in the small of the upper back. Now imagine your shoulder blades are the wings of an eagle. And we're going to use the breath to tease these apart, releasing any tension we may be carrying beneath those wings. So, sipping the air, really feeling the shoulder blades moving away from one another, simply by drinking the air, puffing up the heart, pausing before we exhale completely. Using the breath to release the tightness across the fascia and the skin. I'd like you to continue repeating this cycle. First inhalation, big belly, we draw it into the belly and puff up the kidneys. The second breath, we focus across the rib cage. And the third breath are the wings behind our back. We keep repeating this deep breathing cycle of coherent breath work. Inhale. Feeling the pulse move through to touch the inner arch of your feet and the pelvic floor. Pause for 2. Exhale. Feel it move to the diaphragm, under your armpits, to reach the roof of your mouth and the top of your crown. Allow the jaw to fall open. Release your temples back towards your ears. Allow your lips to part slightly and allow the tongue to sit relaxed. Take a moment to swallow a few times. As you open your throat and let the next exhale pass through the mouth, sighing as you do. Invite each part of yourself to relax, unwind, and open as you abandon your body totally to the earth, trusting the process. The breath is the only invisible force that connects mind to body. It helps us to slow our thoughts, almost like clouds moving across the blue sky. With each inhalation, we recognize the thoughts and we relax into our body. On the exhale, we allow the clouds or the thoughts to pass on by, keeping our focus to the deep blue sky beyond. As our breathing becomes slower and deeper, we increase the space between our thoughts and invite emptiness or clarity. As the body becomes silenced, one finds a deep anchor. Noticing your breath. Breath as mantra. Practicing this particular breathing technique for 20 minutes reframes the autonomic and the sympathetic nervous system and places us into a deep space of relaxation. I invite you to practice this technique before sleeping, beginning with 5 minutes and increasing by a minute every day. So over the next couple of weeks, you begin to master the technique, which you can then use anytime, anywhere, to help the body repair, recalibrate, and improve resilience with the simplicity of coherent breathing. Thank you all for participating. I hope you've enjoyed my 3 top techniques. Do feedback, and I sincerely hope it serves your well-being. Enjoy the rest of your conference. Thank you.